nightclubs, man. I mean, I just keep it funky, man. I'm either at the crib, go to a little bar, have a little drink, and come on back.
Yeah.
Most definitely, most definitely.
We live now, man. What's up with y'all?
Yeah, he just cut the live on, didn't warn
Yeah,
nobody,
man. Put us
nothing.
on the spot, but we stay ready though, man. How y'all doing out there?
We're good.
What's
That's
going
what's
on,
up,
man?
man.
Good.
Dang, man,
Live.
ain't no intro or nothing, man. I'm trying to get hype. You feel me?
Man, Pratt just running it, man. I mean, shoot, it's straightforward. Just run it.
All right, man. I mean, we can go ahead and I guess talk what we've been talking about, man. So, what y'all think about that draft, man? Y'all think about it?
Shit, I think we done talked enough about the draft. Everybody either hate it or love it, man. I mean, it's gonna all boil down to Will Levis and what he does. I mean, if Will
Yeah,
Levis hit, I mean, people ain't gonna give a damn about them other draft picks like that because I mean, this team is a franchise quarterback bad as hell. I'm talking
yeah.
about they need it better than they need their next drink of water. And if Will Levis don't come out here and produce, man, we're gonna be set back for some years, man.
Yeah, that's facts. One thing I will say about I was gonna say offline, but I'm gonna say now, man. One thing I learned I see about Will Levis is that man he getting 100% disrespected coming to the Tennessee Titans. He was disrespected at the draft, man. He didn't go first round. He got embarrassed. He was put on national television. He looked pretty mad with all them beautiful women around him,
Oh
and
yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. And then the second round, I mean, he got drafted to Tennessee Titans. We already know how everybody in Tennessee feel about him, man. You know what I'm saying? He's not in Tennessee. He already stunk it up against the Vols, man. So, and you know, nobody out here really like to pick, you know what I'm saying? So everything that he does here will be earned, man. He has to earn every little thing that he does. And he knows if he does nothing out here is gonna be given to him, man. You're not Hendon Hooker, man. You're not gonna just come to this team and everybody gonna like you, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel about it. Everything here with Will Levis is earned, and I think that's going to be the best thing for him. Now he has a reason to work hard and become our franchise quarterback.
Yeah, got that chip on his shoulder, right? So how you feel, Bryce?
I think I think it's gonna be interesting. I think he's gonna be a stream project player, like a type of player like Malik Willis was last year.
Yeah. Do you think he's as far off as Malik was, or do you think he's more in a better progress?
I think he's more in a better progress.
Okay. All right. I agree with that too. Like we were saying a little bit before, he's definitely a work in progress, but he has that potential, and that's what I've always said a bunch of times. Like he has that potential to be that, but I just don't think that we was in the position to take that risk because it's going to put us, like Marco said, it's going to put us back if this ain't right. It's going to put us back here. So this could be the right decision, and he could turn out to be something great. I just didn't think that we was in that position to take a risk on somebody. I thought we needed something a little bit more surefire was going to be a guy for us to make sure because we don't really have that chance to lose another 5 years off of a quarterback when we've been doing that repetitively for years and years and years.
I just feel like, man, there's they had to have seen something in Will Levis that they like. Apparently, Mike Vrabel took him to on the visit. He put up a whole montage of him making mistakes, and he pretty much told Will Levis to walk through it. Why did you make all these mistakes? And I guess he took criticism well. I guess he takes hard coaching well. Maybe Mike Vrabel is a coach that Will Levis needs to become a franchise quarterback. You know, so we don't know. All we can do is just sit back and we got to give the guy a fair shot at the job. You know, even though he's not everybody's favorite pick, you feel me? But we gotta give him a fair shot. And even though Firestone laughed, and I said that on the podcast even before we drafted him, I said, look, if we draft Will Levis, we have to give him a fair shot, even though we
The
don't
fair
like
shot we never gave him on our
him.
podcast, right?
Yeah, we never gave. Yeah, exactly. He can't have a bad game, man. Like it's gonna be Will Levis sucks.
Man, make sure y'all go back and watch that if y'all haven't seen it already, man. I mean, it's unlimited. I mean, it's unlimited minutes of laughter with us and Will Levis. But I mean, he here now, so I mean, you might well get behind him, hate it or love it, And I'll say this about the dude. I mean, I sit down and watched him a little bit more than I already watched him. And man, if he could just cut down on the mistakes, I mean, he'll be cool. Because I mean, the dude, he does have some playmaking abilities. I mean, he can, escape the pocket if it breaks down. I mean, he's got the big arm. I mean, he can make throws downfield, but it's just all about cutting down on those mistakes. And in Kentucky, he didn't have much in Kentucky, but a lot of
He
those
ain't gonna have
turnovers
much in
that he
Tennessee
had was
neither.
on him, right?
We
A lot
got
of
a
those
good
turnovers
question
was
in the
on him as
chat.
well. So, man, clean up them turnovers, man. That's all I'm looking for. As far as what Vrabel see in him, I think he saw all of that, and plus two, he fits the offense more than a Malik Hooker would have fitted. Malik Hooker would have had to come in here and learn this whole offense up and down to where Will Levis, he's already operated in this offense.
Yeah. Bryce, what did you say about the question?
We got a good question in the chat.
He said, "You think Tannehill is gonna retire as after this season?"
After this
I
season?
don't think he's gonna retire. I
Yeah,
think he's
and
gonna
they showed that really handsome dude like right after that who answered him in the chat, not even thinking about the fact we're gonna talk about it.
I don't see him retiring now. I see him maybe going to another team, and he may can contribute some, but I mean Tannehill ain't getting no younger either. So his time as a quarterback, I mean, is unfortunately coming to an end. So after he leaves here, I say he'll probably play about a year and a half, and then he'll call it quits.
Haley, what you think?
I really think it depends on what happens this season. Like, I still feel like it's hard because I don't think any of us has like super high hopes for the season. But I think, I feel like he feels like he still has a lot to prove, especially after the Bengals game, 2 seasons ago. I feel like he's still kind of trying to prove something from that. So I feel like he still has more that he feels like he needs to prove, but with this team, if he's going to be playing and we're not going to be very good, I feel like he'll probably stick around maybe especially next year if they decide to keep him. We got a lot of cap space. We can get some receivers. Maybe he'll play it out one more year, but I guess it depends on a lot on Will Levis too. So
Yeah. No, I definitely see him playing more. I don't see him retiring after this year. I mean, did you see how he showed up to the press conference? That dude looks bigger and is more in shape than he's ever looked for a Tennessee Titan. So I don't know. I think this is gonna be his last year as a Titan. I do think that, but no, I see him going somewhere else and helping them compete. I mean, he might go to Vikings if they move on from Kirk Cousins after this year too. So I mean, I think there's a lot of potential places that he can land.
Most definitely.
Yo, what up, Stephanie? How you doing out there?
Fan of the year.
hey, Steph.
Oh,
Yeah, I just I look at it like this with Tannehill, man. I just feel like man, he was failed by I feel like he was failed by our organization, man. Like they shouldn't have traded AJ Brown, man. They could have gave him a better offensive line. But at the same time, when he did have all the stuff, bro, he did fail us in that playoff game, man. Like, hey, dude, you could all you do is just be the same average quarterback you been since you got here. Like you saying, that's all you had to be, just take care of the ball. Huh?
We know everybody makes mistakes in playoffs, though. I mean, we've seen even some of the best do it. And that's not an excuse for him because you still have to come retaliate him back, right? So you still have to go and do something. But for right now, yeah, that's what your impression is in the playoff, that you have a mess up. So you need to go back and correct that, because you can't correct it. A couple bad playoff performances don't make you, but you also have to go trump those bad playoff performances by good playoff performances. So you need to come back and retaliate that, because you haven't truly done that yet to help. So, but I think you can. I think those are just mistakes. He was still learning. Like his first playoff games was here as Titan. So those are some of his first playoff experiences. Everybody has them. It's not excuses. Like I said, you still need to show up, but you live and you learn. So hopefully we get into a position like that again. He won't put us in a bad spot.
No, I look at it like this though with Tannehill, man. I want him to succeed. I'm not one of them people that want him to fail. Like there's some people that want Will Levis to fail and Tannehill to fail, and I'm like, nah. Like I want them to be remembered. I want them to be had a name on the stadium, man. When I walk in there, like Bruce Matthews, the you know what I'm saying, the Derrick Henrys, the Eddie Georges, you know what I'm saying. I want their name to be on the stadium, man. It's just so hard with Tannehill because like I just know he good in the regular season, but when he get in them playoffs, it's like, man, you got to elevate your game, dude. Like you can't just run the offense, man. Sometimes you got to make a big play that's gonna change the game, man. And like I'm not saying force it to throw up a YOLO ball, but like it just like if it's one-on-one coverage of AJ Brown, you gotta try it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta make game changing plays at all times.
But you want to know what's crazy though? He tried to make those plays in the Cincinnati game. Made a play to AJ, great ass play to AJ or whatever. But I mean, it's just those mistakes in the most crucial moments. That's what he got to eliminate. I mean, mistakes are gonna happen during the game. I mean, shoot, we sit here and watched it last year in the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. He looked like he was about to throw the Rams up out of the Super Bowl. But in the most crucial moment in that game, he kept on feeding his best guy, which was Cooper Kupp. When he didn't have anybody else out there, just kept on feeding Cooper Kupp until he got to where he needed to be. And that's what Tannehill has got to do now. Keep in mind, we don't have Cooper Kupp here. We don't have anything close to Cooper Kupp here.
Or Sean McVay.
You got to find your best receiver you got and treat him like he's the best damn receiver that you done ever had.
Agreed.
But do you think that's, I mean, do you think that like how things went in the Bengals game, and because there was a lot of things I felt like with the play calling that should have been different. Do you think that was all on him, that he didn't feed, whoever? I mean, I know like there were things. I mean, this doesn't really have to, but like I feel like they tried to do too much with Henry. Henry had just come back, and Dante Foreman was, moving the ball, and they and they kind of moved away from him. Of course, you had AJ Brown, but then in the crucial moments, they had him thrown to who was it? Westbrook Akina, yeah. So I mean, that you know what I mean. Like sometimes that's not all on him, like to feed.
Yeah, I mean they're right there.
I'm sorry, Tannehill. He need to force feed Traylon Burks this year, dude. Like, give him the ball. Like, dude has wide receiver one potential, man. I don't understand like why he don't get the ball more. Like, I know he was hurt a little bit this season.
Go back and look at the routes that Downing used to call. A lot of routes ran. Wide receivers are covering over each other up on routes that they were running. You know what I'm saying? So, like, sometimes as a good QB, we're like, well, why aren't you doing these things? Well, when the routes are out there running as bad as they're ran and they're drawn up as bad as they are, do you really want to throw and make you look like the QB that's bad? Or do you want to sit here and just take a sack and run all day? So I think really like Todd Downing deserves a lot of that credit for a lot of things. Because we've seen even sometimes where he run a action play and there's only one wide receiver going out. Everybody else is blocking. You're like, what type of play call is that? So I think that they tried to do too much. And I think Tannehill in certain situations got in his own head too much. This needs to happen. This is just like, bro, be present in the game, control everything one play at a time. And I think he just got in his head too much. And Downing was just horrible at play calling, bro. Some things was just set up for failure.
I will say like he talking about they go for two on the first touchdown. Now the play that made me mad in the Bengals game the most was when we had 3rd and 1 and we ran that quarterback option and Tannehill just kept it instead of just giving it to Derrick Henry. We could have got the first down and a field goal or something. You know what I'm saying? Then we went forward on 4th down and we just handed it right to Henry. Like I was like, that was dumb.
Well, I think I don't have an issue with like the going for two, but I think the play calling in that was bad. Just in the actual 2-point conversion, but I do agree, and this is something that's a point that I bring up a lot, that although it wouldn't have been an issue if we hadn't had all those turnovers or whatever, but we would have won the game if we hadn't have gone for two and not gotten it, because he's right, we would have been ahead. We wouldn't have even had to be. We would have just been managing the clock at that point instead of trying to fit the ball in to win the game. So I do think it was crucial, but there was a lot of points in that game that were
I will say
not
on
hit
that
on well.
2-point
So.
conversion, man, Derrick Henry, he could have got that first down. He could have got that 2-point conversion.
well,
He didn't stick the ball out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game right there was just, a perfect storm on offense. I mean, you had Downing in his bag, Tannehill in his bag. Then Vrabel decides that he wants to be Vrabel and drop his nuts. So I mean, it was just a perfect storm at the wrong moment, and that's what I pretty much chalked it up to. I mean, it still hurts. I mean, it hurts like hell because I mean, every time somebody bring it up, I mean, those old wounds just start to reopen, and then I start feeling some type of way. I think I fell into depression off of that game right there because it was like I just knew that they were gonna beat the Bengals that day. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I already had my outfit laid out.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
did
I
too.
rolled down by the stadium. Man, I was so freaking pumped for that game. And then as soon as we lost it, I just felt like I wanted to go walk in the park by myself.
Man, I'll never forget that game because man, I had already looked at tickets for the AFC Championship. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna play Kansas City. I knew I was on a podcast yesterday with the Colts, and I was just explaining this exact game. I said, dude, if we would have beat the Bengals that day, nobody was beating us. I'm telling you, we had already beat the Rams. The Rams wouldn't mess with us. We already beat the brakes off the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Like we literally built that defense for Kansas City. You've seen how many sacks we got. Like that's how you beat Mahomes. You just got to keep hitting them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they couldn't stop the run that year. And I'm like, man, Derrick Henry was gonna kill him. You know, Derrick Henry just had to get that game in his belt, and he would have been fine. You know.
Yep.
I was just about to get ready to say that. Had we get past the Bengals, I truly believe Derrick Henry would have caught his stride. Tannehill would have, cleaned up the turnovers. And AJ would have had a monster game. And man, we would have went to the Super Bowl and won it. I mean, that year right there, it really felt like it was our year. And I don't understand why Jay Rock was sitting up there crying.
He knew, man. He was like, dude, we went
Yeah.
all the way up here and messed it up. But I still got faith, man. I ain't gonna say this season, but I mean, I think this season, man, I just gotta be better than 3 teams this year: Houston, Indianapolis, and Jacksonville. And people and the Titans fans are already giving up on this season. I said, dude, our division is still trash. Like I'm like, man, we can still win this division. We win a division and say we get hot some randomly at the end of the season, you can somehow get to the Super Bowl. It happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like this NFL weird.
Yeah, it's the NFL. You literally never know what's going to happen. And I mean, people win Super Bowls on backup quarterbacks. I mean, and sometimes it depends on the team and how the team is built, just as far as the locker room and the way that players come together and the way there's so many intangibles when it comes to if you can just get to the playoffs is a whole other thing, and teams get hot just from the way that they kind of come together. So I'd say if we can win the division, get in the playoff, like anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, look at that year. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just giving her credit. I was just giving Hayley her credit. She said something there. I mean, it's chemistry, all of that. I mean, it just boils down to how well a team gels together, and luck is involved in that too. Because I mean, every Super Bowl team gets lucky. Sure. I mean, look at the Eagles last year, and they route to the Super Bowl. I mean, sure enough, they were kicking people's asses to get there, but they got lucky. Because I mean, they didn't get hurt. I mean, they had their people all throughout.
They got to hurt San Francisco 49ers too.
Yeah, they caught them while they was down bad. So I mean, it's a whole bunch that goes into getting to and winning a Super Bowl. We just got to put our best team up out there and hope everything falls in place.
Listen here, the Tennessee Titans got the best defense in this division. In this division, we have the best defense. I don't think anybody has a D line that we have. Our linebackers are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Our secondary hopefully is a little bit better with Sean Murphy. Button. We getting a Christian Fulton in
man. I've seen how they've been working out too, bro. They out there putting in work, bro.
Christian Fulton in his contract year, so we should get the best of Christian Fulton. Roger McCreary's in year 2. You know what I'm saying? And we, to me, I think we got the best safety duo in the league, man. Amani Hooker and Kevin Byard, dude. Like you can't. You know what I'm saying? I really like our defense. Now the offense, we're gonna have to find another wide receiver. I do like our tight ends. I do like Chig, and I like Josh Wiley that we picked up. That Wesco dude's gonna be a little bit better than Jeff Swain. Jeff Swain couldn't really do anything outside of block. You know, and hopefully Wesco provides a little bit more. Our offensive line. Our offensive line is going to be much better, man. Like Peter Skoronski, y'all going to see he's going to make a difference, dude. And dude was when I hear about Aiden Hutchinson and all the other guys that's been in the Big Ten that talks about him, man, Peter Skoronski, dude, I'm telling you, man, he's going to make a difference.
He's a dog.
Yeah. No, I think that was the right pick. We didn't like it at first because we did research on him, but we were like, why don't we take a lineman? Then we had to think like, man, we're really an offensive line dependent team. Like we have a bad offensive line, we're gonna look bad. We have a good one, we're gonna be better than what people think we are. You know.
Well, and it wouldn't matter if we picked up a receiver, but it doesn't matter if we don't have an offensive line. It won't matter who we have. You know, I mean that really has to be top priority at this point. So.
And I was telling people, I said, oh no, go what you're saying.
I just hate it. I just tired of always getting offensive linemen in the first round. It's just seems like that's all we do as Titans is first round offensive linemen, and everybody else get these attractive, flashy, fun little first round picks, and we're constantly stuck here with offensive line. It's like, tired.
If you think about it, Firestone, that's what kind of team that we are. That we run the ball so much that we have to have an offensive line dealt. You know what I'm saying?
Keep somebody around. You know, we've had
that
4
is true.
offensive
We don't
linemen.
keep nobody. Yeah.
4 offensive linemen in the first round in 11 years.
Roger South will go. And, you know,
Jack Conklin go.
We pretty much set ourselves up for last season with what we got out of the offensive line because we just didn't keep people around. And it ain't no excuses for it neither. I mean, shoot, J-Rod went and paid Julio Jones and did all of this to get him here. He did all that to get Clown in here, but you don't want to do all that to keep Jack Conklin here. I mean, Jack Conklin would have made a hell of a impact on this team had he he even let Dennis Kelly go before he needed to go. I mean, Dennis Kelly probably played his best football the season J-Rob let him go.
And sadly, if we didn't keep missing on offensive line picks, we wouldn't have to keep drafting offensive line picks. I mean, that's the problem. Isaiah Wilson, trade-ins. I mean, that's part of the reason we keep having to do this. That's the bad part. If we get that right with Skoronski, I mean, maybe we don't have to do that next year.
That's that's my point right there. Like I'm tired of us constantly doing the same. It feels like we're doing the same cycle every 5 or 6 years of this stuff because we can't never keep our talent around or believe in it or coach up talent or whatever it might be. We can't. We're constantly drafting the same things over and over and over again because we can't get a structure, a foundation going. We thought we had it with AJ, then we ship AJ off and we pay all these other people. Keep Dennis Daly on the team, but we let AJ Brown go. I'm just tired of doing the same thing. I want us to be able to set what a foundation and what this team is actually truly going to be, set the tone and stick to it and keep some people around so we can actually set what this team is going to be. If y'all want it to be tough and gritty, then let's be tough and gritty. Keep those players around and let's make that the identity.
So we're saying being a Titans is the definition of insanity?
Keep doing the same thing and respecting a different outcome.
It is.
Hey, I wanted to touch on Stephanie's comment real quick. She pretty much said that we still managed to come in second place and Jacksonville barely squeaked by us. That's the exact reason, and I'm going to go on my Jacksonville rant again. That's the exact reason why I'm not worried about that rat-infested franchise down there in Florida.
I'm not worried about it.
Because they know what happened when they went down 10-0 in that game. They got quiet. They thought they were going to get ran up out of the building again. Thank God for them. We had a practice squad team up out there that just, couldn't hang on to a lead or whatever. And then, the NFL came through and done their thing. Here, Jacksonville, here goes a trip to the playoffs. The Titans will be all right. They're not entertaining anyway. So I'm not even thinking
I'm
about
not scared of
Jacksonville
Jags.
going into the
Yeah.
season. I'm more worried about Houston. Now, if Houston gets something going with CJ Stroud, yeah, we might be in trouble. Because I mean, shoot, we
Yeah.
set up a struggle against Houston, even with Houston want to give up. I mean, we just always give Houston a good game. I don't know what's the reason behind that, but I'm not worried about Jacksonville at all.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm that's how the same. I feel the same way about Jacksonville. I'm so glad they're getting all this hype, all this media attention, all this, that, and the other, because they finna find out real quick that Jacksonville ain't it. I can't wait. And they
And,
not it, man. I'm letting you know, they not it.
and I'm getting excited thinking about them going 0-4 or some shit.
Yeah, no, and I
Yeah, I
think
remember
Houston's
after
still a couple of years
2017.
away.
Yeah, I remember 2017. They was the team, and then what happened next year? They come on, man.
They
They
beat
can't
New
sustain
England, and
success.
then they had to play us and let Marcus beat them with one arm. And that's the last thing you heard about Jacksonville until last year. Like I said, I'm not worried about that damn team down there in Florida.
I think that the problem with Jacksonville is that it doesn't matter what talent they get. It doesn't matter because that team is so mismanaged that it's always, until they've changed some stuff, it's going to be a cluster down there. And
Calvin really gonna fail them.
you know,
Watch.
They got a losing culture. Just call it what
yeah,
it is. They got a losing culture, and they can't get up out of their own way.
yeah.
No, I just
Yeah.
can't wait till Calvin really can't stay healthy. He not producing at the way he need to produce, and they're gonna be in there. I can't wait, man. I already know what's about to happen, man. They do it every year, man. Like this, they got hot towards the end of the year because Trevor Lawrence started to figure out a little bit. But like, come on now, like Trevor Lawrence isn't up to me right now is above average quarterback. Yeah, and I think he's gonna be good. He's probably gonna be a good quarterback. I can't wait till they pay him Joe Burrow money so y'all can see that he can't do it without all the talent around him. I can't wait. I've already got him figured out.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. CJ will be passing to
Yeah,
Robert Woods. I mean, Robert Woods wanted to be free for this opportunity. So, hey, he finna get all the opportunity.
CJ Stroud's good. CJ Stroud's gonna be good.
Well, yeah, but we're gonna see. Like they're gonna be good, and I'm with y'all on that. But that's why I'm like, I'm not worried about this division. Like it's gonna be a couple of years for Houston and Colts to get their development going. Maybe even longer for the Colts. But Houston, yeah, they look promising, but it's still gonna be a couple of years. We know rookies don't always do the best. New coaching staff, everybody's going to vibe and synergy. So it's gonna be a couple of years for Texas. So I'm not truly worried about nobody this year. I think we're actually going to shock and be better than a lot of people think the Titans are going to be this year.
The Jazz also lost to the Texans and the Colts last year, so just gonna throw that out there. And they had Trevor Lawrence out there.
Yeah, it's best for everybody to worry about the Titans. Don't worry about what they got going on in Houston. Don't worry about what they got going on in Indy. Damn sure don't worry about what they got going on down there in that rat hotel in Jacksonville. Worry about what the Titans got going on, because believe you me, if this team comes out and is better than what folks think or whatever, I mean, they gonna run past Jacksonville, and they probably gonna run past Indy. Now the Texans, I mean, they gonna give us some good games, and we probably gonna lose one. But I mean, we can get this division if we playing our best football.
Yeah, they always get one, man. It never fails. And during Houston, Texas, they want to be Oilers. It never fails, man.
Yeah, man.
And these teams truly ain't seen a healthy Titans team in a while.
They haven't.
As long as we can run Derrick Henry, we can beat anybody. And that was the problem that I had this season. Our offensive line was bad, and a good team. When we played the Bengals, when we played Kansas City in the second half, we could not run Derrick Henry, and that kept killing our offense, kept making us go 3 and out. I'm like, dude, we can't run our running back. You know what I'm saying? And it's not Derrick Henry's fault; it's the whole line. They getting pushed back. You know, I said Derrick Henry didn't have any back breaking runs in the second half because our offensive line was terrible. You know. I'm so glad we got Peter Skoronski, because it took me a while to realize, okay, we need an offensive line. You know, we got Brunskill, we got Andre Dillard, who will be better than Dennis Daly. I'm not gonna say he's good, but he's gonna be better than Dennis Daly. And hopefully NPS takes a step forward too. I mean, it'd be in year 2.
I think he'll be okay with better pieces around him because I mean you have to think about it. Dude, a rookie up out there, and he didn't look bad in the beginning, but you had everything else just going bad around him. I mean, Ben Jones held up for as long as he could hold up, and then Nate Davis. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good neither. So I mean, he had his struggles that left side up over there. I mean, that right there was just a straight up train wreck, and it just caused everything else on the whole line to go bad. But if Douglas can, at least be serviceable, and Peter Skoronsky can come in there and do his thing, which I think he will, everything else will fall into place. And then Brewer being back in center helps because before Brewer started playing guard, he was playing center. He was backup center. And I said, I mean, Brewer cool at center or whatever. Just put him at guard. He was on the sides. Then he was always getting pushed over and having to, compensate the best he could with playing with Dennis Daly. Dennis Daly just made that whole offensive line just worse, man. I mean, thank God he's gone.
Yeah, you talking about Dennis Daly?
Yeah, man. Thank God, dude is gone, and it's crazy too, cause Money Awesome for I guess I'm saying his last name right. GM up over there with the Cardinals. He used to be with the Titans. I mean, he went and signed Dennis Daly. I don't know if that's part of his plan to get Mighty Mouse up out of here, but I mean, he signed the right dude if he trying to.
Dennis Daly was not an NFL caliber offensive lineman,
No,
and
at all.
I just don't. He, I, I just don't like the way he was playing out there on the field. Every time a 245 defensive lineman would come toward him and run him over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
he
wouldn't
was getting
trust Dennis
knocked over
Daly
by
to
wind.
block the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. Any of us on this panel right now would have been able to block better than Dennis Daly. I promise you that. I promise you that.
That man got ran over by Arden Key. Like, I mean, I'm saying Arden Key trash, but he ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Even though, I seen like
He
he'll be
just
back.
straight let dude bull rush.
Yeah, like dude is terrible, bro. Like, I don't understand
Uh,
how.
Bruh, but I can see Tannehill to like Titans Fox comment earlier. I can see Henry rushing for over 2,000 yards, or even maybe going breaking the rushing record this year with how things kind of look. And if that line works right, man, it might be a year where Henry can break another 2,000 and maybe get a record. I mean, I want to see us pass more, but how this system is looking, that's what it kind of looks like what's going to kind of happen.
Also, don't forget that we still got Dylan Radins on that offensive line too. He's a backup.
right.
We got him. We got Jamarco Jones still. I think we still got him.
I think Jamarco's gone, but they got look right now. Actually, I'm kind of curious.
Preston,
Yo,
what was your thoughts on that new draft pick we got in the first round?
Skoronsky, I think, is a good fit. I mean, they needed a lineman. It's not a sexy pick, but I think they needed somebody that. And honestly, I don't even care if he plays guard or tackle. I think if he, no matter where he fits, if he's good, they're set at a position and they hit on a first round pick for a long time. That's all that matters. And he's somebody that whether he or Dillard can flip flop or whatever, they're set somewhere. So I think that's a good start, and they'll figure that out in camp. But he seems to be someone that probably could play either one, and that's going to be interesting to kind of figure out kind of what happens there. But I like the pick. And so as far as backups, Corey Levin, we have, it looks like Dylan Radin still. We do have Jamarco Jones, but is he actually healthy? That's I mean, he'll get hurt before training camp. Jalen Duncan is a backup, and I think that may be the 6 through 8 right there.
Hey, Preston.
Yo,
Who do we have for wide receiver available? Like we could have took a wide receiver earlier, but I'm gonna ask you this, man. So what which which wide receiver would you want to keep on the team for the practice squad?
Oh God! So who we got now? I'm gonna read off the murderers row of wide receivers and get ready to win the Super Bowl with this group of guys. Okay,
A group of legends.
Colton Dowell, Mason Kinsey, Racy McMath, Chris Moore, Kyle Phillips, Reggie Roberson, and Nick Westbrook-Akina. I mean, I think they keep 6. I don't. I think that arguably the 4 for sure they're keeping are Chris Moore, Kyle Phillips, Traylon Burks, and NWI. I mean, the last 2 are probably could be Roberson, McMath, and Dowell are going to fight for the last 2. I mean, maybe Kinsey, or you could. I mean, honestly, I feel like that could be somebody that they bring in the offseason or in camp could fight for that spot. I mean, we don't know, but as it stands now, I mean, they need help with that position. They're if they go in with this group of guys, I don't feel like you're giving any quarterback a fair shot to, or the offensive coordinator for that matter, to have a fair shot to really have expectations to have a capable passing offense.
Yeah, I agreed with that, Preston, a lot, man. That's a good point you just brought up there. But we kind of need to make a decision on whether it's passing or running the football.
I think based on the personnel, they're going to run, but but I think starting next year, based on them drafting a quarterback, they're going to pass. Because they don't trade up to draft a quarterback. They don't trade up to draft a quarterback to just run the ball, because otherwise I don't think they would trade up to draft him. So that part's good. It gives me hope that they're going to actually evolve the offense to where we're just going to do more than run, pass. But I mean, otherwise what's the point?
I mean, there still are some receivers out there for free agency. I mean, if this is accurate to right now, I think it is, but we'll never know. But Kenny Golladay, Byron Pringle, Jarvis Landry, N'Keal Harry, Sammy Watkins, Andre Roberts, Rashard Higgins, Demarcus Robinson. Those are some guys that's available. Morocco's favorite Cody Hollister is out there.
Don't say
Julio's out there, guys.
Well, hold on,
yeah,
before we
that.
show
Man, y'all
on
in
one
the
second.
church and
So,
y'all seeing it right now.
hey, so a wide receiver right now, I think we need to wait till after June 1st, after these cuts happen, because there's gonna be some wide receivers on the board, man. We're gonna be right in the first line to go grab one. I'm letting you know this now. There's gonna be a wide receiver that's probably that they're looking at, that probably has an expiring contract that they know that the team not gonna be able to pay for, and they're gonna try to get one of those guys.
Now, Jarvis stands out to me, but y'all brought up a point before that, like him and Tannehill kind of have some issues between each other. But if they don't, and that's been squashed, that would give at least Tannehill some familiarity with a wide receiver he's had before in a room that he has no familiarity other than NWI and trailing for 6, 7, 8 games. You know what I'm saying? It would give him some familiarity. At least he knows what this guy's going to do and what he wants to do, and would help. But Jarvis is who I look at as long as their chemistry is okay and they ain't got no issues personally.
Hold on 1 second. I want to know which wide receiver is going to be what number on the team. What number will Nick Westbrook-Akina be this year if he's not a number 2?
He should be a 4, but he's probably a 3. I would think Chris Moore would be the number 2. He had a career year last year, but he's probably going to have to fight NWI to be a 2. But if either one's a 2, it's concerning.
I still don't know why we picked him up. I'm just that dude is not good.
Because he had more receiving yards than our entire wide receiver core.
Yeah.
If D-Hop get cut,
he's a number 3 / another 3 or 4 guy.
Is he better than Nick Westbrook-Akina?
I think so. Better than yes, but I don't think he's a 2. But I think he's a better 3 or 4 option than NWI. Yeah, but not by much.
I think Traylon Burks is still the number 1, right?
Gotta
Yeah.
be
I would assume.
I think Traylon Burks gonna have a really good year this year.
right behind Mason Kinsey.
If Traylon Burks doesn't have any injury, then I think we're good on that. We're good on that spot. If he doesn't have any injury, I mean,
So are we just gonna like act like Kyle Phillips isn't a wide receiver for us anymore, or is he just
bro?
he just
Tannehill brought his name up in his press conference. That's the first time we've heard about him in so long.
Yeah, Tiger fans forgot about him.
I don't know what's happening.
After all that hype after preseason last year, and then it was like he just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, you ever seen a Titans player like just that? Something like that happen to them? I've never.
Yeah.
He was just too small, man. I knew he wasn't gonna last because I was like, man, he's too small. And the same thing's gonna happen to Tank Dell, who the Texans just picked up. He's too small. Like, he's gonna have to get in the gym and get bigger.
How tall is Kyle Phillips?
He's like 5'11". He's short.
Probably about
11, 189.
I thought he was about 5'9", 5'10". No,
He's listed at 5'11". It says 189. I don't think either of them. I think that's a stretch for both of them. It's like he's on a dating profile and they put both of them, and there's no way he's either.
You say like he's on a dating profile. I know they like to above 5'10". I'm putting 5'11".
Yeah, man, he looked like a 5'9", honestly.
He's a small dude.
He just got to put some muscle on him, man, so that he can be able to absorb those hits better.
Man, yeah, because it's scary watching him run the ball, man. It's scary.
I mean, he's gotta be able to stay healthy on the field too, and I mean, last year he couldn't even hardly move that shoulder.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I'm 5'7", and this is Kyle Phillips. If he's 5'11", I'm like 5'10" now. There ain't no way.
Man, I'm about to say,
There ain't no way.
say too, Preston. You look like you better built to take those hits than Kyle Phillips did or was last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's looking now though.
Hey,
don't nobody.
I hit a growth spurt, or he shrank. I don't know. Something happened. But
it was the shoes you were wearing, man. They had them insoles on there.
Shoot.
But yeah, man, this wide receiver room. I mean, shoot.
I mean,
man, I feel like if Traylon Burks can come out and produce, I mean, that right there would tremendously, because I mean, shoot, they'll pretty much have to put a lot of attention on Traylon Burks to where, you know, those other receivers don't feel pressured to have to make plays or whatever. I mean, sure, make the plays when the ball comes to you, but if you got defenses out there worrying about Traylon Burks and what he could do with them, I mean, that right there make it easier for those other receivers to go out there and be like, you know what, shoot, they ain't giving me no respect. Let me show them what I got. And boom, you get a Kyle Phillips out there, you know, scoring a 30, 40-yard touchdown, and you get Nick Westbrook or Keener coming out of nowhere and mossing the dude or whatever. I mean, it's going to have to boil down to Traylon Burks and how they treat him.
So do you think maybe, and I just, you know, this just popped in my head just now too. So do you think that maybe Vrabel and them is trying to do something like Kansas City on offense, where you kind of got a number 1 wide receiver? Some other teams he'd probably be a number 2, but you got a number 1 wide receiver, and then your 2 wide receiver is your tight end, and then 3 and 4 is wide receiver by committee?
They're not good enough to pull that off.
I mean, we're not yet, but do you think that's where we're trying to go? I know we're not there yet, but do you think that's what they're trying to do, the way they loaded up tight ends and then go wide receivers?
I think we're going to do the 2. We're going to stay in the 2.
Because Kansas City ain't really got good wide receivers. They got decent.
They're going to stay. They're going to stay in the 2 tight ends. 12 personnel.
I think so too. Morocco. So what do you think about Big Jeffrey Simmons? How is he gonna do this year?
I mean, I expect Big Jeff to come out there and give it his all like he been doing. I mean, last year he was hampered by the ankle injury, and you know, when he comes back, I mean, he should be fully healthy, ready to go. New contract, he ain't got to worry about all the extra stuff. The only thing he got to worry about is going out there and being the best Jeffrey Simmons that he could possibly be. And I'm glad you said something about that too, because for this defense, man, they're gonna have to get their pass rush back. I mean, that right there is mandatory. That right there is the key to their defense is their pass rush, because that pass rush, I mean, it just affects so much, and it makes it easier for the secondary as well.
Harold Landry is coming back off injury as well.
Yeah, Harry
Yeah, we're
Landry,
gonna
he
see
gonna
how
have
he
to come
actually
out
is
there
gonna
and
be
have a
though.
big year. He
Yeah,
gonna
because
have to. Go ahead, Firestone.
like it's not only physical when it comes to injuries, it's that mental too. So he might be physically, but how much is he mentally going to trust that knee? You know, how mentally is he ready to believe that his body is back to do what he was? So that's what we're going to have to see too. So he might be back physically, but it's always weird seeing players come back off of injuries because sometimes their body be back, but they don't play the same afterwards.
They just don't feel the same way as they was out there on the field before the injury. But yeah, I don't exactly know how players get these type of injuries, but it needs to stop.
Yeah, and I just
Yeah.
hate that it was a non-contact
Right.
injury. But what sucks is it's just that nobody knows how that's going to react until he gets back on the field, and it's just you get the contact, and
Yep.
part of that's mental too. I mean, we don't know. He may be hesitant to kind of move a certain way or anything else until we get into game action, and it may take a game or two for him to really get his feet wet and feel comfortable. Because if you look at Derrick Rose, the basketball player, I mean, top 3 basketball player for a couple of years, when he messed his knee up, it was in his head for 3 or 4 years, and he's still never the same. And he's still playing, but it looks like he looks like me out there at times. I mean, it's sad because that guy was a Hall of Fame talent before he had his knee injury.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
He's not the cat, but I just
And how many is this for Landry on his AC? Because it was ACL, right? How many has this been now for him? Is it? Didn't he had an injury in college too?
I think so. Yeah.
So it's like also at a point like you remember how RG3 was. He couldn't even just go back and drop back, and it was getting so bad. So how is it really good? Is it back stable? You know, I've heard doctors always tell us like, yeah, it's going to be a year for you to get back for ACL, but it's going to take you at least 2 for mentality because you've been babying it for a year, so you've been used to that mentality. Now you got to get back into trusting and understand it. So we just not going to see until we see him out on the field.
Hold on, Firestone. I got something to say about the ACL thing, but now you don't have you don't have that many months to recover from an ACL now. It's like 8 to 9 months.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's a situation where this ACL thing, man, it's done gotten worse for players.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's
definitely
better because the ACL injuries have healed a little They heal a little faster. It's not the 1.5 to 2 year recovery period. You're more like the 8 to 10 to 12 months. It seems like it's a little faster for that because surgeries are advanced, which is awesome. I remember Jerry Rice tried to come back in 4 months from an ACL injury in '97 and retore it, which Jerry Rice is a different animal, but
yeah,
proved that, even 4 months is insane it back then. But I'm just, though, surgical advances have just gone so far with medical technology that part's good, that it allows that significant injury to be able to have a quicker recovery period. Because at one point it did put you out for realistically 2 years before you really saw the full recovery of the player.
Yeah.
Hold on, Preston. I wanna to go on some kind of. I want to talk about a little bit about an injury recover from an ACL.
Do it.
Hold on, just 1 second, guys. I'm gonna take a deep breath.
Everybody stretch.
You okay? You okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ACL thing is. I mean, Preston, you can still walk on an ACL after you tear it. You can still walk for at least a couple weeks. Like, right after you tear the ACL, I mean, it's a,
It's like Taylor Lewan. I mean, when he tore his, he was walking around after the game.
He was walking down that big ass staircase, going down to the field. Like,
Yeah.
he just tore his ACL a week ago, just walking down a flight of stairs with like 80 stairs, and I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, gave us all false hope, right?
I'd be like, oh, he'll be all right, and then it's like,
I actually saw the video. Where what's the reporter's name? Jerron Davenport.
Yeah, TD.
Yeah, Karan, TD.
Yeah.
I actually saw the video of Taylor Lewan. His knee did not look the same as it was. I mean,
Hey, Bryce. Brian wants you to read the comments.
Okay.
He said, "Bring back Cody."
Man, you could have kept that comment.
Yeah, man. This man talking about Cody Hollister, bro. I can't do it.
That's his guy. Brian's awesome. He's got a jersey that he duct taped over Mariota, and he wrote Hollister on it. He's working the games. I love it.
I guess he's gonna have to duct tape again. Levis from now, right?
Yeah.
I did that with my AJ Brown jersey when Dobbs was doing good. I put tape over and put Dobbs on the back.
Yeah, you gotta wait till people get paid for you better get a jersey.
Yeah, you do.
I had an AJ Brown jersey, man. I don't even know what to do with it now, man.
Hope that somebody else comes around for
soda time. We're gonna pay him. Like,
I know, bro. Me and you both. Bro.
You got Chris Moore.
Man, Malik need to get that number up, man. Will Levis, get that number to Will Levis, man. You ain't gonna be on the team long.
Nah,
he gone, bro.
And that ain't even no knock at him. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I mean, they probably didn't even want Malik Willis in the beginning. I'm talking about the coaching staff. That was a J-Rob move.
Hey guys, I want to show you guys something. Hold on. I forgot to put it up at the beginning of the stream, but I'm gonna show you guys something. It's Preston's collection that he has.
Oh, no pressure, guys.
No.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can go find it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Just give me just 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
My name is Preston Penn, also known as The Collector, and I'm a Titans super fan. I think what sets me apart from other Titans fans is that I'm a very hardcore collector. So I started collecting Titans cards when they came out in 1999, when the team finally became the Tennessee Titans. One other thing I thought was cool is I've got a card of Eddie George actually holding his kid that just graduated from Vanderbilt that was a Vanderbilt football player. And I've got a Steve McNair card that he signed for me at training camp one year. I have 24 Titans game-worn helmets. I've got a couple Steve McNair. I've got Eddie George, a couple Albert Haynesworth, Vince Young game-worn throwback helmet. I've got a game-issued MTSU helmet that is signed by Kevin Byard. It's a chrome helmet. And I've got pretty much almost every era of Titans football. represented in those helmets. Over time, I got a complete uniform of Eddie George. I've got his helmet in it, one of his jerseys from 2003, a pair of his game pants, a pair of his game gloves, and a pair of his cleats that were issued to him. And aside from my helmet collection, my cleats, my footballs, and cards, there's my jersey collection.
Feel good, I feel great. Feel good,
I have enough game jerseys to dress the 53-man roster 7 times over. I've got almost 400 Titans game jerseys. These are jerseys that are either worn by the player or issued to the player. This is kind of a unique one. It's an Eddie George Pro Bowl game worn jersey from 1999. Another one that I really like is Taylor Lewan's jersey. This was worn in 2017 against the Colts. I mean, I've gotten a lot of them signed. There's still quite a few that I've not, but that's kind of a never-ending quest, I guess.
one of a kind, there ain't no more. You ain't seen nothing like this before.
I think my favorite jersey out of all of them is probably a Tennessee Oilers jersey from 1998. It was worn by Derek Mason, and the interesting thing about that is that they wore the white jerseys all season long. That is the only color jersey they wore. You can see that it has a lot of repairs, different places. Of course, I got him to sign it, but this thing looks like it's been worn probably the entire season. One jersey that I have that I think is pretty awesome is one of Randy Moss's game jerseys. He was only with the Titans, I think, for 11 games, and I've got one of his game-worn jerseys. So my oldest jersey I have is actually a jersey that was issued to Earl Campbell, and got him to sign it.
I like men with the head off the lemon's ass, baby, we're fresh.
It's just like the thrill of the chase. I mean, it's kind of fun to see what you can find. I think there's a lot of things about collecting I enjoy. I think it's cool to be able to share with your friends, oh, I got this or I got that. And it's not just collecting something and you sit on a shelf. I mean, there's a story behind pretty much every piece you have. And I mean, I'll do trade some, but it's so much fun to collect it. Because I feel like if I was buying everything to sell, it would take the fun out of it. You know, there wouldn't be the thrill of getting something new. And to me, some things are more valuable than money. I mean, it's just these memories are priceless to me.
Yeah, that's dope.
Bruh.
Yeah, man, Preston, man. I mean, shoot, he inspired me to go ahead and start trying to not so much collect jerseys, but get some autographed jerseys, man. Because I mean, we'd have had a lot of great players to come through our organization, and just getting up and looking at those jerseys every day, just it brings back so many good memories for me.
Bruh, that is
Those shows,
dope.
Mario.
For sure. It brings so many good memories back. And Preston,
Yes, sir.
so what else do you have in the future for your sports room?
Well, I got a couple more I want to frame, and I'm going to have to take a couple photos down. But I got an area that I want to frame 2 more, and I'm working on a couple things. So I guess I kind of want to maybe put that together and either debut it later this summer or early fall once I get everything put together. But got a couple things in mind.
Bro, what's one jersey you've been trying to get signed, but you just haven't been able to get signed yet? Like, what's been that one that's been the toughest for you?
Let me think here. It's weird because it's just one that I've been trying to find, like a game jersey of just someone random. Like one that I was looking for that I found I'm friends with is Donald Mitchell. And that's just random because he played for like 3 years here. And I found that one. So that was kind of cool. But I want an Adrian Peterson Titans gamer and I want a Hainsworth 91 gamer. But as far as one that I want signed, I talk to Tank Williams every once in a while. I haven't seen him in like 4 or 5 years. I want this one signed because I love this one because it's got Tank Williams on the back. That's when they had Tank and Todd Williams at the same time, which is in like 2003. So they had both of them on the same team. So instead of doing T.A. Williams and T.O. Williams, they put the whole name on the first and last name on the back. So I thought that was kind of cool. I just haven't seen him to get it signed, but that's just, I've always liked that jersey just for whatever reason.
That's amazing, man. I gotta step my game up now. Shoot, I thought I was doing good with 3 mini helmets over here signed, but I ain't. I ain't nothing, man.
Hey,
It's
man,
dope.
everybody got to
nothing
start somewhere, man. Just keep that in mind, man. Preston, I know Preston to tell you, man, all that wasn't built in a day. So, man,
Oh yeah.
you starting off damn good, Firestone, man. Just every little opportunity you get, man, to get something signed, get it signed, and put it up in your collection, man. And before you know it, man, you'll have a strong collection, dude. For real, for real.
Yeah. Collect what you like, and it's not a competition. Just collect what you like, and as long as you like it, that's what matters. Display it the way you like it. Display what you want. Don't feel pressure to buy anything just because someone else has it or anything like that. Just collect what you want. That's the main thing. As long as you like it, you may like Vince Young. If someone I know someone that loves Jake Locker. I'm like, they hell that Jake Locker. I'm like that. That's cool. I respect it. Whatever. Like. I don't understand why, but hell, if you like Jake Locker, that's cool. Like whatever, cool. Like if someone likes whatever, but just buy what you like, collect within your means, and just display it however you want. As long as you're happy, that's what matters. It's help each other out. If you know someone that collects someone, then you said let's trade, or I hope you give them that lifeline to that person, and that's makes the hobby even better.
Yeah,
You got to be willing, like what I learned from Preston. You got to be willing to kind of get in there sometimes when you're trying to get those autographs. I was at training camp with him last year, and Tannehill was over there, and he had a big group around him. And I swear to you, I look over, Preston is at the back of this huge group of people. I turned away for 2 seconds, and when I turned back around, he's at the front. Somehow pushed through all those people, was at the front getting his stuff signed. I was like, how in the world did you manage to get it? And he just sneaks in. He just knows. I mean, I've been with him like when we've gone to like alumni, like finding the alumni and alumni weekend. Like he just, I think definitely like for most people, it's it's a hobby. It's something, but I mean, he puts a lot of work and effort into it. He creates relationships. I've seen him with these people, and these guys know him and they respect him. It's kind of cool, like and not even that. What is the funniest part to me is that I've been with him where some of these players, not only did they know him, their wives know him. Like their wives are like, "What's up, Preston?" Like it's really, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, but he really has put effort into not just getting things signed, but he's created kind of relationships, and they respect him and they know him, and because of that, he has and they tell other people. So then it like there's really, I think, more. I mean, he kind of undersells himself, but I think there's a lot to it that is pretty cool. So
absolutely. So when I come to Tennessee for a Nashville game for my first one, basically you saying follow Preston around everywhere I go.
Yeah, but you got it. Like Lawanda says, you got to like tie a rope, because he's not going to be holding your hand. You got to just. if he sees somebody he wants, he's beeline, and you just got to pay attention where he's going and follow.
So make sure to come with one of those kitty backpacks with a leash on it and
exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, you just got to follow. Yeah.
Have some skates. Hold on, let's go. But
that's kind of how I am, man. I know so many people in Nashville that people gonna see me and be like, "Oh, do you RJ?" Blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's a fun thing because this year was great because, like, I was talking to Jarrell, and Jarrell was like, "Hey, you want to come?" Jarrell even said, "Hey, come hang out with us. We're gonna be here this weekend." And I was like, "Hayley, let's go." She goes, "Okay." So we hung out with them that Saturday, and then I brought my friend and his stepdad. I brought Seth and his stepdad to the hotel after the game, because I was like, I'm not messing with this traffic. The traffic was the freaking worst. It was the worst like it's ever been. Like it took me 45 minutes to get from, and anybody that lives in Nashville will know how bad this is. It took me 45 minutes to get from the stadium, near the stadium parking lot, to like the Gulch. That's insane. Like I could have walked faster, and it pissed me off. But we were there hanging out, just wanted to kill time. I was talking to Jarrell and his wife and a couple of the other guys. We ran into one of the guys from Metallica, and he gave us this guitar pick. And what is that guy's name? I've got it in and I wrote it down. What is that guy's name? Shit, that drives me nuts. It was like the bass player or one of the guys from Metallica. I'm about to look it up. It's going to bug the hell out of me because I can't. Terrible names, but
I got another video for y'all. This is the one where I met Derrick Henry at the game.
Absolutely.
oh, Robert Trujillo. Sorry, it was the bassist for.
Look at Derrick Henry. Look at the king. There we go.
What's up, buddy, man? Oh, thanks for coming. Good to see you, man.
I got something for you to sign.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's dope.
Pretty cool. It was a good day, Bryce, wasn't it? I gotta this one more thing. My favorite Preston moment is when we went to a card show like a few months ago, and freaking Pac-Man Jones was there, and we paid for autographs. It wasn't like, I mean, we were paying, and Preston goes up there with his whatever he wanted signed, of course, and Pac-Man I think was late coming in. He came in through the front instead of in the back where he was supposed to. He and his wife. He sees Preston just immediately, and then he tells his wife, "Hey, look, it's Preston." Like his wife knows who he is, whatever. So anyway, so when he comes out to do the signing, Preston goes up, talks to him. He signs whatever Preston brought to sign. Preston goes to leave. This man calls Preston back up there. He's like, he's like, I got to give you something else. I got to do something else for you. So he finds his little, he had literally it was like a weed cookie, but it was just a wrapper for it. He had that on the table. He signs it and gives it to Preston. It was just the most random thing, but he was just like, I just want to give you something else.
Yeah.
I just had to do something more for you. And I was like, only Preston would have a Pac-Man Jones signed, weed cookie wrapper.
It was funny because he said,
whatever
"I'd give
it
you
was.
there's too many people around." I'm like,
Yeah.
the day that I get pulled over,
That's dope, man. That's
literally.
Yeah. Yeah. I know pun intended there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty cool,
that's
man. That's
my favorite part. I'm like, I don't know how he does it, but anyway, Bryce. So yeah, that was a pretty cool moment when Derrick Henry came over. We didn't think he was going to stop. He was going to run off the field, and all of a sudden he just looks over and he just makes a beeline straight for us.
that's awesome.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that is dope.
Yeah.
I'm still yet to meet Derrick Henry, man. I've yet to meet him, so I may enjoy it.
That was definitely the top moment of the day.
Yeah. I imagine so.
Hey, Bryce, it was better than you throwing the hot dog.
Yes.
He threw a hot dog at a Broncos fan.
I was about to ask, what? I got to know the hot dog story. What did he say? What did he do to make you throw a hot dog at him?
I think it was an accident. I think he dropped it.
Oh, okay.
No, he was just his only crime was being a Broncos fan. So
that's enough. That's enough. Guilty as charged. Throw it.
Bryce was taking lots of video because he was keeping an eye on the refs to make sure they were not not cheating. That's what he said. So
okay.
Right.
Yes. I was trying to make sure they were doing their job the right way.
He was keeping them in line.
I understand. I understand. Absolutely.
All right, Bryce, I think we need to wrap it up. I think we had Morocco and RJ had to go. Yeah, and I'm about to have to put my kids to bed, so.
And my dog is high. See, you can tell. He's
Hey, Ace. He looks so comfy and cozy. I know.
Yeah, he is. He's on the Oak blanket. He can't be living life good. And Ash isn't on it, so we're good. If Ash is listening, yeah, you took my blanket.
Haley, it was good. It was a good show tonight, and
It was
thank
good.
you. Thank you for coming on, Firestone.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
We're happy to come back anytime, man. You just let us know, man. We gotta support each other. We're all Titans fans here, building up the community with the podcast and everything. So we're here to help one another.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and thanks Preston too.
Glad to do it anytime. I would jump on anytime.
Thank you, Preston, and thank you, Haley, as always.
Thank you, Bryce.
Thank you for coming on as always. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks,
for
Bryce.
sure. I'm gonna wrap it up, guys.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Love you.
Love
Good night,
you,
guys.
Haley.
Appreciate the invite. Tighten up.
Absolutely. Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.